Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, it's Eid Mubarak to all of you. Today, our group will be presenting about curriculum in Malaysia. So hi, I am the first presenter for today's presentation. My name is Rabiatul Alia binti Abdullah with matric number 2312836. My part is overview curriculum in Malaysia. Alright, so first of all, I will show you guys a timeline on curriculum before KSSR or KSSM. Okay, so firstly, we will begin at 1956, which is the establishment of the General Syllabuses and Timetable Committee. Next, in 1964, establishment of the General Syllabuses and the Review Committee. Next, in 1965, introduction of comprehensive education. In 1967, report on curriculum planning and development released. And then in 1973, Curriculum Development Center or PPK established. And then we move on to the 1982, KBSR implemented in 302 primary schools only, which is this is a pilot phase only. And in 1983, KBSR implemented nationwide in all primary schools in Malaysia. In 1988, full implementation of KBSR. Meanwhile, KBSM introduced 4 language subjects only. Moving on to the 1987-89, KBSM expanded to other subjects such as integrated living skills and transition programs introduced. And then in 1991, expansion of manipulative skills and integrated living skills programs. And in 1992, further expansion of living skills subject in primary school. And lastly, in 1993, living skills fully implemented in year 4, continuation in upper primary levels. Alright, so in this part, I will present to you about 7 key features of the Malaysian curriculum. Firstly, structure. It is divided into primary school standard curriculum KSSR and secondary schools standard curriculum KSSM. Secondly, holistic development. Based on the national education philosophy, the curriculum seeks to create balanced individuals physically, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. Thirdly, 3R focus and character education. Early education emphasizes reading, writing, and arithmetic, 3R, while incorporating moral values and socio-emotional learning throughout schooling. 4. HOTS and digital literacy. The curriculum emphasizes higher order thinking skills, HOTS, science, mathematics, and increasingly technology or digital skills. Next, we will move on to the standardization and unity. It is a centralized system ensuring equality, with Malay as the medium of instruction for national schools and a strong emphasis on national identity and patriotism. 6 is 6 key aspirations. The framework is built on cultivating 6 attributes: knowledge, thinking skills, leadership, bilingual proficiency, which is Malay and English, ethics or spirituality, and lastly, national identity. So 7 key subjects. Mandatory subject for all students includes Bahasa Melayu and History to foster unity. Alright, so lastly, why is change needed? Why the curriculum always change time to time? Okay, so firstly, findings from engagement sessions, conference resolutions, review and curriculum studies. A flexible, relevant and contextual curriculum to achieve a culture and culture of lifelong learning. Second, to develop a generation with a growth mindset and resilient citizens. Second, reference to national policies, development theories, and also student aspirations. So, curriculum development is based on the aspiration of the National Education Policy, National Child Policy, National Unity Policy, Malaysia Digital Economic Blueprint, and also Digital Education Policy. So, learning focus must align with students' age and cognitive development. The 6 student aspirations in PPPM 2013-2035 are refined to meet future needs. So lastly, global trends, international assessments, and also SDGs. Firstly, global trend, competency-based curriculum development. So second, Malaysia's target to improve performance in teams and PISA. And in SDGs, awareness and responsibility towards economic, social, and environmental issues. And lastly, addressing learning poverty.
So now we will focus on KSSM curriculum that is currently used in schools in Malaysia. So first and foremost, what is KSSM? KSSM stands for Curriculum Standard Sekolah Menengah, which is Malaysian National Secondary School Curriculum introduced by the Ministry of Education Malaysia to replace the earlier of KBSM. Because before that, we used KBSM as our curriculum, but there's some improvement in our curriculum. That's why we changed to KSSM, and it was officially implemented in 2017, starting with Form 1. And it is also a part of Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025, which aims to improve the quality of education and prepare students for global challenges. So basically, this is KSSM that we use now. Alright, moving forward to the aims of KSSM. Basically, KSSM aims to develop balanced and holistic individuals who are intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically capable, which is this aligns with Malaysian National Education Philosophy, Falsafah Pendidikan Kebangsaan. Basically, KSSM want to build a student or to produce a student who are capable and well-rounded, which is they can use their intellect to build something for our country, protect their spiritual, and also control their emotion. So this is what KSSM want to build to our students nowadays. Okay, now I will explain the principles of KSSM. First, there is continuity between primary and secondary education. This means what students learn in primary school is continued and developed in secondary school. For example, basic skills like reading, writing, and thinking are improved at a higher level. The second one is general education for all students, which means all students follow a common curriculum, especially core subjects like mathematics, science, or Bahasa Melayu. So everyone gets equal opportunities to gain knowledge and skills. The third one, the use of existing knowledge disciplines. Subjects from the previous curriculum are still used, but they are improved and suit current needs and modern learning. The fourth one is integration of intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and physical elements. This means students are not only taught academic knowledge, but also values, emotions, and physical development. For example, in any subjects, students learn to think critically, behave well, manage emotions, and stay healthy. As an example for PJPK subject, they need to exercise. And finally, there is an emphasis on moral values. Values like respect, honesty, and responsibility are taught in all subjects, not just in a specific classes like Islamic or moral education.
Next, I will explain about the frameworks that makes up the KSSM. So what is the difference between principles and frameworks of KSSM? So principles are made up mostly after the KSSM is born, while the framework is decided way before KSSM is decided to be implemented. So, first of all, we have physical and aesthetic development. What is physical and aesthetic development? It is when the students are able to exert what they have known and the skills that they have learned, and also the moral values that they have learned in class physically. Next is spirituality, attitudes, and values. This is based on one of the rukun negara, which is kepercayaan kepada Tuhan. And what it is the formation of a morally upright person from the religion, from the moral that they practice. The next point is humanity. So, it is a hope that students are able to become a good citizen for the country, which are able to solve problems and become the pillar for the country in the future. Next is self-skills. This is to nurture leadership and character, as well as moral values through curricular and co-curricular activities inside or outside the class. Next is science and technology. So it is the mastery and application of the knowledge and skills which is learned in science and mathematics as well as technology by using it responsibly in everyday life. Next is communication. It is the mastery of verbal and non-verbal language skills when interacting with people in everyday life, while equipping students with the skills in order to survive in the career world and in the future. Next, I will explain about how KSSM is a standards-based curriculum. So first, it has a content standard, which is a specific statements about what students should know and be able to do during a school period, covering aspects of knowledge, skills, and values. For example, for this subject, the Arabic language subject, the students are required to learn from the topic about this and this and this and master the vocabulary of this and this and this, and is able to communicate or talk in hiwar about this topic, and this topic. So that is how we know that KSSM is a content is standardized by its content. Next, we will see how the KSSM is also standardized by its learning standard. So what is learning standard? Learning standard is a set of criteria or indicators of learning quality and measurable achievement for each content standard. So as an education student, we are used to see while making our RPH, we are used to see about the LO, the learning objective for each of our RPH. So that is what we consider as learning standard, like what the objective that we set before starting the lesson. And last but not least is about performance standards, which is a set of criteria that shows the student's level of mastery as an indication that a subject has been mastered. So this is common as what we call performance or assessment in our class. And the most common example that we can see nowadays is using tasks, or maybe in a single class we will use something like activity at the end of the class, after learning the content. Then we test the student if they remember or if they can apply the skills or the knowledge that they have learned. So that is what we call as performance standards. So these three standards is used in the KSSM. So KSSM is what you call as standard-based curriculum, and mind you, this three is also included in is obligated to be included in the SKP, which is document standard curriculum dan pentaksiran, the SKP. Next, we will see how the KSSM is organized by its curriculum, which is we will see from the aspects of its subjects. It is divided by 4, which not all forms or not all years will experience it, which is first core subjects. Second, compulsory subjects. Third, additional subjects. And fourth, elective subjects. So for your information, elective subjects is only decided, or the students will only learn it once they have gone up to Form 4 and Form 5, which they have to take elective lessons for their elective. So first, the core subjects. This is a subject that the students must pass, and they need and is needed in every SMK or government-based schools, which includes like Bahasa Melayu, English, Mathematics, Science, and History, which is JARA. Next is compulsory subject, which is subjects that are compulsory to be taken by the students, but it's not included in the certificate as a must pass, which includes like Pendidikan Jasmani, Geography, Pendidikan Seni Visual, and Pendidikan Music. And third is additional subjects, which are the language subjects which are offered to the students, whether they want to take it or not, or the school decided for them. For example, the Arabic language, the Mandarin language, the Spanish language, the Japanese language. All of these language subjects are considered additional subjects. And interestingly, some schools in Sabah and Sarawak even offer the Iban language or even Kadazan Dusun language. Next is about elective subjects, which are decided for the electives, such as when you're in the science stream, you will be obligated to take the science elective subjects such as physics, chemistry, additional mathematics, biology, and for the other students too. So yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Nolajo Akila binti Muhammad Jalani. My matric number is 2211886. So now I will continue this presentation with the topic of Islamic education in KSSM. So for your information, KSSM places a strong emphasis on Islamic education to ensure that students are developed in balanced manner, both academically and spiritually. So now let's see what is the main components of Islamic education in KSSM. There are 6 main components for Islamic education in KSSM that are outlined in the document Standard Curriculum dan Pentaksiran, or we call as the SKP, which serve as the official guidelines for this curriculum. So the first component for Islamic education in KSSM is Al-Quran, which is focuses on the recitation, the memorization, and the understanding of selected Quranic verses, so that students are able to apply this teaching in their daily life. Second, we have Hadith, which emphasize the recitation and the understanding of selected Hadith to guide students in practicing Islamic values. And last, we have Akidah, which is focused on 3 main aspects, which is Ilahiyat, Nubuwat, and Sam'iyat, which aim to strengthen student faith and belief in Islamic teaching. So the next component for Islamic education in KSSM is fiqh, that cover 4 main areas, which are ibadat, munakahat, muamalat, and jinayat, to help students understand how Islamic ruling are applied in their daily life. So next, we have Islamic history and civilization, or we call as Sirah, that focuses on property biography, the history of Islamic figures, and also the development of Islamic civilization that can allowing students to learn from the past example and achievement. And lastly, we have Akhlak Islamiyah, which focuses on morality towards Allah, as well as towards human and also other creatures, in order to develop a good character and ethical behavior. So all these components can be taught through various teaching and learning strategies that are outlined in KSSM. So let's see what is the teaching and learning strategies in KSSM. So in KSSM, there are 5 teaching and learning strategies that can be used during class to enhance student engagement and understanding. So the first learning strategy is fun learning method, which called as kaedah didik hibur, where teacher and student can do a role play, quiz and gamification and so on to learn more about the topic. For example, like teacher can do a role play about selling and buying, which is the topic from fiqh muamalat, so that student can understand the real life situation based on the role play itself. Next, we have problem solving method. So this method can be applied in teaching fiqh, where students are given a real life situation and the student need to discuss and determine the Islamic rulings of the situation. Next, we have project-based learning. So this approach can be applied in all topic, all subject. For example, like we can apply this in teaching Sirah and Islamic civilization, where student can do a poster or a video about the Islamic figure. Next, we have cooperative learning. So this approach can be applied to all subjects because this approach encourages students to work together in a group. So it can enhance student understanding and also their social skill. For example, like they can communicate in a good way and also they can share their ideas. Lastly, we have inquiry-based learning. So these learning strategies can be applied in teaching Akidah, where students can ask and explore more about Islamic belief. For example, like learning Sam'iyat and so on. In conclusion, these 6 main components for Islamic education and 5 learning strategies in KSSM make Islamic education in KSSM are more holistic because it is not only focuses on knowledge but also focuses on understanding, practicing and also character development.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will proceed this presentation with the objective of goal Islamic education in the curriculum standard sekolah menengah, which is KSSM. So, Islamic secondary education aims to cultivate individuals who become the dedicated servants and khalifah of Allah. Students are expected to embody intelligence, knowledge, visual, and practical competence guided by the teachings of the Quran and also the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, the Ministry of Education Malaysia outlines several important goals to ensure Islamic educations contribute to students' spiritual, intellectual, moral, and also social development. So, the first objective or goal in Islamic education in KSSM is practicing Quranic reading and applying Quranic teachings. This is to ensure students are able to read Quran correctly and practice its teachings in daily life. Students learn proper recitation skills such as tajweed and its pronunciation while also understanding the meaning of Quranic verses, not only to read. So, the goal is not only fluency in recitations, but also internalizing Quranic values such as honesty, patience, gratitude, and responsibility in everyday actions. So, the third objective or goal is about understanding Islamic belief, which is Akidah. This is to strengthen students' understanding of Islamic belief. Student learns about faith in Allah, angels, rivals, book, prophets, the day of judgment, and divine destiny. A strong Akidah builds spiritual awareness and helps students, especially to develop confidence, purpose, and also accountability, especially as Muslim. So, the second goal is understanding and practicing Hadith. It is focuses on developing an understanding of Hadith and applying it in daily life. Students study selected sayings and practices of Prophet Muhammad SAW to learn more guidance and practical example of Islamic living. Through hadith, students understand how Islamic teachings are implemented in real situations such as social relationships, leaderships, discipline, and also compassion. So, the fourth one is learning the seerah of Prophet Muhammad SAW and Islamic civilizations. This objective is to study the life of Prophet Muhammad SAW and Islamic civilizations and to take lessons from them. Through seerah, students learn leadership qualities, wisdom, and ethical decision-making demonstrated by our Prophet Muhammad SAW. Studying Islamic civilizations also helps students appreciate Muslim contributions to knowledge, science, culture, and global development. Next, understanding Islamic morality and the way of life. This fifth objective emphasizes the understandings of Islamic morality and living according to Islamic ethics. Students are guided to develop noble character such as respect, honesty, responsibility, cooperation, and empathy. Islamic education aims to shape students' behavior so that Islamic values become parts of their personality and daily interactions. Last one is reading and writing Jawi as cultural heritage. So this final objective highlights the importance of reading and writing Jawi as parts of Islamic and Malay cultural heritage. Learning Jawi no doubt helps students connect with classical Islamic texts, historical documents, and traditional scholarships. It also strengthens cultural identity and preserves Islamic intellectual heritage within Malaysian society. As the conclusion for this topic, the Malaysia curriculum has developed to produce holistic individuals who are balanced intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. The implementations of KSSM emphasize student-centered learning, critical thinking, and 21st century skills while maintaining strong moral and cultural values. Through its structured content and interrogated components, including Islamic education, the curriculum prepares students not only for academic achievement but also for responsible citizenships and future challenges. Overall, the Malaysia education system aims to develop knowledgeable, ethical, and competent individuals who contribute positively to society. That's all from us. Thank you.